So we're doing this, and if you look at Alex's back when he's doing this exercise, his traps are turned on a lot. They are elevated the entire time, and that's aiding a lot of his ability to pull the weight up, right? So we're doing this, and he's saying, I really want a big stretch. You want a big stretch, and the only way to get that stretch is to take your traps out of the equation. So if we're gonna be in a position where, if you want to see me wherever Alex is, make sure you guys comment in the section below. Bug his ass, get his attention. Let him know that it's important that you guys see us train. Maybe do a coaching up or train with me episode together. I don't know, I think it'd be cool. I'd like to train that kid. Looks like a nice ass kid. He's a nice kid. It's like somebody's dad or some shit. I am somebody's dad. What is up? It's your boy John Ashreeve, IFBB Pro, Mr. Tell Like It Is. Welcome back to another episode of Coaching Up. Today we're coaching up Alex Eubank, and we're coaching up his at-home workout in the dungeon. Went through this video already, and it's a really good workout actually. I like a lot of the things that he's coaching here, but I kind of wanted to bridge the gap again. Again, the point of these videos is to bridge the gap of knowledge, to give you guys a better understanding of why certain athletes do certain things, or maybe to debunk a few unnecessary movements. Anyway, without further ado, keep your eyes glued to the screen, your ears glued to the speakers, and let's learn some shit.
So here, we're doing some shoulders and arms. Here I'm doing this incline bench lateral raises. What I love about this movement is it takes out every type of momentum, so you're purely only using your side delts in this movement. So really controlled movement, definitely got to go a little bit lighter. I usually do that.
Okay, so what I really like about this exercise is you can see his physique and clearly what muscles are being used, and you can see, I want you guys to look at the way he's doing these and then kind of focus on just seeing that as the base of activation of his muscles. So when he's doing this, I do like this exercise. It's one of my favorite to do because it does help isolate the delts. It takes a lot of your momentum, any kind of chest support. It gives you a little more control without using your lower half to use momentum. So doing these, he's doing them kind of back like this and down here, you know, his feet are here, wherever they're at. He's laying down this way. And I don't mind doing this way at all, not that much, but I much rather prefer doing them in a position where you're standing. Same thing where you're laying across, but it gives us a lot more room for our shoulders to move more freely when we're moving than having, you know, the bench in the way, right? Being down a little further. So I want to be over top this way so my chest is on top and I can be active from the ground. So if your bench has one of these things here, not a bad idea. So again, when we're doing this, I like to be up top so I can be a lot more free with my shoulders. And then on the floor where I can be, you know, I can be active right from the ground. Remember, from floor to core, and be active all the way through, from my feet all the way through my torso and into my shoulders. And if you have one of these where you can go here too as well, that's also good as well. But either way, from here, I like having the weight to be able to let the weight just pull yourself naturally down. So not letting it up this. The cool thing about what Alex is doing is you can see that his traps are not engaged. So he's kind of letting them hang, and then he's pulling up and rocking up. All right, and this is a great exercise to really hit the lateral head of the delts. You just kind of do a nice rocking motion and pulling up. And again, I can't use momentum at all here. So what you want to do here for tip for doing this is to pretend again you're trying to push the weight away. So think about wanting to push, like say you're trying to push with the back of your hand out and up. You're trying to touch the side of the room with each rep. And you'll feel your delts activate that much more. So when we're doing this, be from here, let the weight naturally just depress your shoulders. You're almost protracting a bit, and then you're engaged from floor to core, tight from here, and then just up, nice rocking up. And it's a great opener, or even one of those, you know, exercises you can do in the middle of your workout. A+ on that one. And the great thing I like about this too is that you can see that when he's doing the exercise, when you see him do this, when you watch from the back, he's able to activate his lats to help push his elbows up. That's pretty advanced. So what I like about seeing that is Alex pretty much really knows his body and how to control his body to get the best activation. Now, his next movement is where I want you guys to see the difference between his activation and from his first movement to his next movement. Again, if we want to really activate our delts and keep the delts on fire the entire time, we really want to make sure our traps don't necessarily get included as much. Now, there's no way necessarily around it, but there is a way around fully contracting or elevating your traps and doing a lift. A lot of you guys are watching the video but not subscribed, so do your boy a favor and subscribe to the channel, especially new guys who are watching not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification button as well too, so next time I put a video, you'll be the first ones to get it. And hopefully by now you guys like the video. So if you do, hit the like button. Back to the show.
Seated lateral raises now.
Now, seated lateral raises, I like what he's doing.
Standing because I feel like I get a better stretch at the bottom of the movement because I can let the weight come under my legs. And again, when it comes to building muscle, it's all about the biggest stretch and then having the...
To really coach is to make sure people are doing it like, you know, basic without movement, is to get yourself in a position where you're hinged a bit. So we don't want our back to roll like this. More so than you want it to be like this, right? So almost like in a hinged position. And then from here, pulling ourselves up. And that's basically what he's doing, is being able to go super heavy and using this rock motion, which is completely fine. The problem with most people that do this is that they end up rolling their back. They end up doing this kind of thing, and they're kind of doing this, which doesn't really work because their back is, you know, basically rounded. And then you get some good reps here, but we want to make sure this thing is as optimal as possible. So when we're doing this, and if you look at Alex's back when he's doing this exercise, his traps are turned on a lot. They are elevated the entire time, and that's aiding a lot of his ability to pull the weight up, right? So when we're doing this, and he's saying, I really want a big stretch, you want a big stretch, and the only way to get that stretch is to take your traps out of the equation. So if we're gonna be in a position where we're bent over, our traps need to be, like my traps are engaged now, they need to be like this. And now then like this, if I'm rocking out a bit, then I'm using my rear delts in my lateral, my delts from here, and they're getting full attention without having my traps pull up like this. We want to avoid pulling up with our traps. What we want to do is we just want to rock out again, same idea as before. You're trying to touch the side of the room, then being up, and then not letting your traps get engaged where they're like this the entire time, and that's what he's doing. Now he's doing a good job of making sure that his back stays in a nice neutral position the entire time, which I really like him doing that. But again, when these guys explain certain things when they're training, sometimes they're explaining really good tips but not giving you the visual. So I always do my best to make sure that if I'm giving you guys an example, that I'm acting that example out exactly the way I'm saying it, so you get a good visual with the explanation. So good exercise to do. As of right now, this is a really good workout to do. I think it makes sense for me right now, for sure. The order of the exercises makes sense. So again, when he's doing this, what I like about this movement is watching him do this, and again, his back isn't rounded, but you can see how much his traps are engaged. So if you guys are out there, beginners trying to do this and kind of using this little bit of, I would say, this kind of technique, make sure we do two things. Number one, keep our back completely in a neutral position, don't let it roll. And then again, lower the weight enough that you can just let your delts do the work and not have to incorporate your traps as much as you can see here.
That's what we're doing here. I thought I was looking pretty damn good. I'm gonna show later when we go to pose how...
You look good, man. Alex, you look real good.
Literally, like the last
pretty damn good.
All you have to do is just eat whole foods, stop drinking your calories, switch from full fat foods to fat-free foods, and from sugar to sugar-free. Like, it's literally as simple as that, and that instantly cuts out a bunch of calories out of your diet. I can always tell, like, if I really just want to drop weight, I just have to cut all those things out, and next thing you know, I'm getting lean.
But it's a really good tip for you guys losing weight. A lot of times when it comes to, you know, burning fat right away, it's not like you have to all of a sudden cut a bunch of calories, do a ton of cardio. What you can basically do is just like have better food choices. Like, I had a client tell me yesterday that, you know, he binges on, you know, Coke. Not that kind of Coke, like, you know, Coke and like Coke and Pepsi, you know what I mean? Coca-Cola. My bad. He binges on Coca-Cola. And I'm like, you know, you can literally just like drop some calories by using Coke Zero or Diet Coke or Pepsi Zero or Diet Pepsi, right? You can dice calories like that. So don't think right away you have to start doing hours of cardio and like cutting half your calories away. Just think about like right away, just changing your food choices, using better overall calorie dense foods, low calorie dense foods. Choose some better options that aren't so high in calories, goddammit.
So now we're doing some the side lateral cable raises. This is really good. I like to finish off my lateral head with these, and I usually like to superset this with like a pushing movement. So I usually never shoulder press, but I was just supersetting it just because I felt it really well in my shoulder, because usually I don't feel it when I do a shoulder press. But
I really do like the order and the routine he's doing, because when it comes to shoulders training for me, a lot of times people think we have to like load up all your pressing movements. And I find if we just put the order in the right position, our pressing movements don't have to be as traumatic to the joints. So if you start off with like, say, shoulder press, of course you're gonna have to like pre-exhaust it, like warm your shoulder up, and then like get into your hard sets. And then when you toast your shoulders and doing over presses, then you get into your accessories. And by the time you're in accessories, you're like, oh man, my shoulders are killing me. When I think doing it the other way around makes a lot more sense, and it'll give you healthier shoulders in the long run. So when we're doing this, I do like this exercise a lot. It's one of my favorite ones to do. I like what he's preaching, but a couple things I want to make sure we get things a little more optimal. So most of the time, people are gonna lack a lot and their rear delts. So the only difference in this program I would, in terms of like how the order of it, I would definitely have a little more rear delt stuff in there. There's not much rear delt in there. There's a lot of lateral head movements, but again, the angles we've already used in this workout do incorporate the rear head of the delt, but doesn't necessarily really give it as much attention as it needs. Doing just the face pull at the end really isn't necessarily gonna do all that for you when it comes to how much attention that your front delt and your lateral head of your delt get more than anything else when it comes to your shoulders. Now, when it comes to doing these, the best way to do these, I find, when we're doing cables, low cable pulley lateral raises, is I like, you can do it from here and have it come across and, give yourself a little bit more of a stretch. I like stepping my foot inside. Now, I've had an argument with people like, you have the wrong leg step here. The reason why I don't like doing leg right here like this is because, again, now it's like I get myself, I'm in the way, right? Does this look right to anybody right now? This looks awkward. What looks a little more optimal? This or this? Right? I'm in a great position where the cable can come run freely through me. There's nothing getting in the way. And being on an angle like this, I have a lot more range that it's coming in front of my body, just as it would be if I was sitting like this, only I can be a little more active here in this posture. And then again, when we're doing these, we're pulling away. We're trying to basically push our weight out, rocking out and pulling up. Right, we're not trying to pull this thing up like this. And that's what happens when we do this. Whether you're standing like this or leaned, everyone's trying to pull the weight up. So you get this kind of elbow breaking thing here when we want to lengthen the entire time and pushing away and out from here. And then when we're on the cables, now we want to make sure we have a good change of direction up and down. But again, when we're on the cables, we can control the negative that much more and control how we push the weight out. And you can see my traps aren't getting involved. I'm pushing out and up. I'm pushing out and up. And I like this, and then going into your actual pressing movement, because after doing these movements, you don't have to load your shoulders as much at all. And if you're doing something like dumbbells, like if you have like a gym at home, this is a great workout to do. But again, I would definitely incorporate more than just face pulls for rear delts. Now, he's doing face pulls a little differently. Hey guys, check it out. My beginner 3-day split, 4-day push-pull split, and 5-day bro split are out right now, guys. My beginner 3, 4, 5-day split is out right now. So to get yours now, guys, hit the link in the description below. Back to the show. So when it comes to doing this, he's not doing the traditional way where, we'd have a rope and you start from here and pulling back like this and having our elbows come back like this. We're getting a little bit of external rotation as well. We're getting the rear delt really active here. If he's intentionally doing this as a rear delt trap movement, that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with doing face pulls like this. The problem is people do them and they over rotate or they over pull and they're doing weird shit like this, or they're over internally rotating. They're putting too much stress thinking that if I do this, I'm gonna work my delts more. Where we just wanna have the delt basically pull and do the arm back like this. That's all it's doing, right? Think of this. Your chest is gonna do this. Your rear delt's gonna do this. It's gonna help do this, okay? There's obviously other muscles there, but for being a shoulder video, we're keeping it focused on the shoulder. So again, chest pulls the shoulder in this way, rear delt pull the shoulder back out this way. It can do this way with a straight arm, it can do this with a bent arm, right? Either way, if it's going back, this is doing the same movement, right? Having the weight out here more is gonna put more stress on the delt. It makes it that much harder, right? Anything further away from midline from your stomach or from here, midline being here, the further away from midline you go, the harder the exercise gets. So you think about it, if I'm doing a press here is pretty, and then it gets a lot harder here. If I'm doing a pull here, it's a lot easier than doing a pull from all the way up here, right? Same thing when it comes to rear delts. If I'm doing this, I have a lot more strength to be able to abduct here, right, and pulling. It's a lot harder if I take this thing here and just try and pull it like this. A lot harder. Anyway, if you're going to do this way, I would suggest that you make sure that you keep this at a level that's right at your shoulder. So we can get into a place where our chest is still down, still up a bit, we're shoulder pressing a bit here, and we can pull and keep that right level with our shoulder so we can really get our rear delt and our traps involved if you really want to work that upper part of your back. And pulling here and keeping the chest up. Here and the chest comes up, or it stays up. We don't want to go from here and then do this, or to do this stuff, we're pulling too hard like that and not really controlling the weight. But from here and then pulling straight back and squeezing. If you want to be a little more advanced, we can let it protract and being active in protraction and then active in the retraction, active in the protraction, stretching it out, and then chest up and squeezing, out, chest up and squeezing, and out. And you'll find doing it like that is gonna yield much more results in terms of the load being stressed on your rear delts. Now, if I'm gonna do anything different about this entire exercise, I'm gonna add more rear delts, period. This routine lacks rear delt, and for the most part, we're talking about, continuing that 3D look, making sure that we look good from this side and the back. Make sure we're doing enough rear delt movements. So put in a reverse pec deck, reverse cable fly, bent over, whatever, chest support, rear delt flies. Those are great things to do. All right, so if I'm gonna do anything different, I'm gonna add in like this exercise. This is one of my favorite ones to do to really get your delts fired right up. We can do chest supported rear delt fly. So doing anything chest supported, pulling, we're gonna take all the momentum of our hips in this movement, and we can focus on exhausting it. Now, a couple things we can do, a couple techniques. I suggest lowering the weight all the way down so you can do the movement. We can sit, but again, I like to be up a little higher so that when I do this, my arms can move freely instead of being here, then I'm kind of stuck here. I kind of want to be up and let my body be able to move from the chest. I need to be able to open this thing up when I'm moving. Now from here, we're gonna cross and grab across, right? Lean a bit from here, and from here, I'm pulling my arms right out. And I let myself protract, reaching, and then I'm pushing away as far as I can and coming right back and pulling from here. And the chest is coming up and easing into it. I don't wanna throw the weight and then catch it back here. I wanna have the weight that's nice and light and heavy enough. I want a weight that's moderate enough that I can take the weight from here, from the starting position, and I can ease that out, squeeze, and control it back. Ease it out and control it back. Ease it out and control it back. And if it gets harder, we can just bend the elbows a bit and do this and just pull the elbows back to kind of burn it out. But again, I want a weight that I can protract and then ease, chest up and then squeeze, ease, chest up and squeeze, and pull from here. I would add this in at the end before, and maybe do this and superset the face pulls and be fine. Or just do it like you did before, warm up with the chest supported flies, and then do the heavier set of seated dumbbell lateral raises, and then getting into the lateral raises with the cables, supersetting that with his overhead barbell or dumbbell, whatever you want to do it. You can do whatever press you want, and then get into a good set of reverse flies or reverse pec deck or reverse cable flies, and then finish off with face pulls. I think it'll be a really good overall, well-rounded shoulder workout. Either way, Alex, I co-sign Alex. That is it for the video. Hope you guys give it a try, and if you do, try in those tips and cues. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section below. I know you guys liked the video, so if you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. I'm becoming that talent. It is transparent, vulnerable truth. And for coaching, johnasheed.com. If you want to know more about my coaching, book yourself a 15 or 30-minute consult. At the end of the consult, I deduct it off any package that you pick. Also, guys, hit the description below for those discount codes and promo codes that help save your life or change your life for the better, like Johnny10 for 10% off BlueStarNutraceuticals.com. And guys, remember, add me on Instagram and TikTok, some of your progress pics, your training pics, and your video clips, and I repost it for you, because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep gym chasing. Peace.